Hello there, my name is Nigi and I'm a Lean Six Sigma Master Black Belt with about 20 years experience in the business process management space. I'm also an academic researcher with a focus in predictive process monitoring. This is the first in a series of video posts where we're going to explore an area of process mining which, in my opinion, has not been given as much attention as it deserves, and that is diagnostic process mining. In recent years, it's been great to see the interest in process mining, especially in the field of descriptive process mining, in particular, process discovery. That is where we take an event log, apply process discovery algorithms, and discover the true nature of a business process. However, when we do that, often we uncover problems such as rework, as we can see there. However, whilst this descriptive process mining approaches will show you what is happening, what they're not great at is showing you why it's happening. To understand why those problems are occurring, we require a different set of diagnostic process mining tools, which is going to be the focus of this series. And because a problem often has multiple causes, these approaches need to be able to uncover each of those causes as well as the extent to which they contribute to the problem. And we're going to show how diagnostic process mining enables us to do just that. Finding the true causes of problems is essential because a failure to do so will likely result in the implementation of solutions that will consume time and resources but fail to resolve the problem. I'll illustrate this. Assume you're tasked with solving the problem of lower than expected on-time delivery rate for cases. So we pull up our process mining dashboard. Now, here's what a typical root cause analysis dashboard looks like. It displays a variety of important metrics. On the left, we see some key metrics in tabular form. We also see a couple of key metrics, the average delay in days and the on-time delivery rate visualized. Now, looking at that dashboard, it's clear that one of these teams performs significantly worse than others. Did you notice which team that was? Well, no prizes if you answered Team Hermes. This team has a lower on-time delivery rate and a higher average delay than any of the other teams. So we might conclude, based on this dashboard, that there was something about this team that caused them to perform so poorly. Perhaps team members are not pulling their weight, or the management is a bit lax. To address this, perhaps we introduce more stringent oversight vis-a-vis other teams, which we strictly enforce. Now, whilst there's clearly an association between the team and on-time delivery, as we can see there, what we cannot see from this data is that there is a confounder, a third unobserved variable, which is the actual causal factor. In this case, that confounder is case complexity. In other words, complex cases are assigned to certain teams like Hermes, and these cases are more likely to be late than less complex cases. However, because we cannot derive this insight from our existing root cause analysis dashboards, the solutions we've implemented have not only incurred implementation cost and effort, while failing to sustainably improve Team Hermes' on-time delivery rate. Even worse, it's probably demoralized the team members and perhaps increased our attrition rates. At the moment, I'm only aware of one process mining vendor that provides causal inference tools out of the box. All the other vendors implement root cause analysis dashboards that show associational rather than causal relationships. Which vendor, you ask? Well, all will be revealed in one of the subsequent posts where we discuss resources for diagnostic process mining. Whilst performing causal analysis, the role we assume is similar to that of a detective who's been assigned to investigate a crime. Now, our objective is to find out who committed the crime, and in the event that it was committed by multiple parties, their degree of involvement. Now, to do that, the detective would gather evidence from a variety of sources, from CCTV cameras, from interviews, from phone records, and stitch this together to put together a case that is admissible in a court of law. In a similar vein, when we perform diagnostic process mining, we take data from event logs, we stitch that together with interviews with SMEs, we apply inductive and deductive reasoning, as well as causal inference algorithms to uncover the causes, all the causes of a problem, as well as the degree of their contribution to the problem. We'll also examine the effect of solutions or interventions on the problems and identify which subset of cases we should target with which interventions. We'll illustrate the end-to-end journey using a real-life event log. So, in the second post of this series, we'll look at how we can define the problem. In the third post, we'll look at how we can find the causes for the problem. In the next post, we'll look at how we can validate those causes. In the fifth post, we'll look at how we can find solutions. In the sixth, we'll examine how we can validate and implement the solutions we found. And in the final post, we'll be looking at prescriptive process monitoring, which adopts a forward-looking approach to prevent problems from occurring in the first place. Now, the aim of this series is to ensure access to all. So the post will prioritize intuition and comprehension. We'll not delve into the mathematical foundations of the causal inference techniques we'll be using, but our focus will be on explaining the results in a manner that is easily understood. Whilst I'll do some coding to derive the causal estimates, I'll not walk through the code, but rather an overview of how it works. The code will be made available for those who are interested in perhaps reproducing it, and I'll share other resources for those who want to dig deeper, but the focus will be on interpreting the results and ensuring it's easily understood. Hope you join me in the next post. Thank you for your attention.